Well, the ceasefire is now officially in effect. Donald Trump posts, "Please do not violate it!" exclamation point, and even signs his post. It's really kind of him. Now, the reality is that markets responded extremely positively to this ceasefire deal being struck. Bitcoin closed at 4.3%, but it's not just Bitcoin. We saw that S&P futures, not only S&P closing up almost 1%, after hours, it's also up about 0.6%, showing a lot of positivity. If we look at the volatility index, we saw it spike up here into our rejection zone, and it got smacked back down, which is another great sign. And the good signs just keep on coming, because the crude oil spot chart fell in one day 9%, but from wick to wick, right up here to down here, 16%. Now, the reality is that this chart alone says it all. I know that a lot of people don't trust stuff like this. I know that there is still a lot of civil and social unrest between Israel and surrounding countries. So, does this mean that it's really done? I mean, oil dropping is a good sign. Bitcoin is looking okay, but is it really done? We're going to talk about all of that and a whole lot more in today's video here on Coin Bureau Trading. My name is Aaron Dishner from The Better Traders. Join me and my co-host Dan and also Gabby, who live streams here on the channel for crypto trading tips, tricks, strategies, information, and more. Hit the subscribe button, and we are going to get into it with some short-term analysis for BTC. Now, the first thing we have to acknowledge with the price of Bitcoin right now are these two lines. One of them was pierced, and the other one is still open. It's still valid. Now, let's talk for a minute, just for a refresher for all of you that are new here. Hi, welcome. There's a difference between a test and a pierce. A pierce is when the price pierces past a level of support or resistance. That is a pierce. A test is when it comes right up to it, respects it, and falls back down. These two are not the same, but they're both good. Now, when we have a level of resistance like this up here, we can see that we actually had two tests after this level was established, here on the 10th of June and here on the 11th of June. It's a positive sign. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's up with the other line you had? Well, this was an extremely short-term support level, but it proves a point that's extremely important about the difference between a test and a pierce. We saw on last Tuesday, the 17th, pierce, 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 3 pierces in a row. Chart opens below this level and it crashes. Now, this is the thing that I don't really like talking about. I'm excited, again, for a ceasefire. I am optimistic, hoping that it will last, and I think it will. But the reality is that as far as charts go, this pump right here, this move to previously broken support, this level right here is our trouble layer. Because now what was once support is now resistance. And we can see that because the price not only wicked above this dotted line, but it didn't close above it. The price of Bitcoin is now struggling. Well, I wouldn't say struggling. It's just, this is normal behavior. But this is expected behavior for a bull trap. I know, I don't want to say it either, but it is. Now, I'd love to be optimistic with you. I mean, heck, my moniker down there, my handle on X is Moon and Papa. So, I mean, charts that are mooning are just going up and to the right, just going like that. I don't know why it sounds like a cat or a motorcycle or a cat riding a motorcycle, but that's just what it means. Now, if this ceasefire sticks, which I believe it should, given the price performance on WTI, on crude oil, assuming it sticks, the next thing that Bitcoin has to do today or tomorrow is it needs to close above this dotted line. If it happens today, we are literally out of the red. There's no threat. There's no worries. We're all going to be listening to Bob Marley and jammin'. all together on the beach. It'll be great. It'll be glorious. But the reality is that a move up like this is a little bit risky. Now, this is massively short term because this is basically information for today. So what about the bigger problem? Well, the bigger problem is this level right here. I'm going to hide this for now. We really need to see the price move up 4%, not to test, or I guess to test this overhead resistance level, but really, we want to break above it. Now, I am feeling skeptical about that just because of price action. If we look back over here at this low to this low, we kind of have a pattern forming here. Now, while this might look bearish, this is actually a really bearish setup that I've shared before several times for BTC. Before I get to sharing it, I want to let you know right now is the best time to trade. What I'm going to be sharing with you as far as this price setup, this chart formation that's forming for Bitcoin is 100% going to have an explosive outcome for alts. This is still an incredible time to trade. I mean, the last 5 days alone, amazing opportunities everywhere to buy the dip. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So if you do not have access to a non-KYC requiring exchange, check out CoinCatch, check out 2Bit. You get bonuses when you sign up with both of these using the link that's provided in the description below. If you like centralized exchanges, I use Bybit. I like using Bybit. So you can also sign up and get bonuses. There are way more deals over at the Coin Bureau website. If you go to coinbureau.com, or rather just click the link in the description, you'll be taken to the deals page. First thing, check out the Coin Bureau Club. It's a private Discord server that has access to lots of insights and observations from Dan, Nick, and Guy. Plus, there are other exchanges, other tools, and there's also a 10% off coupon for our course, 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom via The Better Traders. Now, in our courses at The Better Traders, we do talk about some trade setups. We talk about chart formations and TA, and I've already shared some of this with you already here on this channel, which is why you guys got to stay subscribed. And I also have a playlist, has a ton of videos. It's somewhere down there. But the good news is that this is actually a bullish chart formation. It's still really new. And unfortunately, this chart formation does not have a specific timeline, but what we're waiting for is the outcome. Now, it's really difficult, really challenging to call this a specific formation without some time passing. But what this formation is this is actually a bull flag. Now, bull flags are really exciting because what typically happens with a bull flag is we reach a high and then we have a low that surpasses the previous low. So we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and this could keep going for an extremely long time. It can actually be extremely annoying and tedious. But the result of a bull flag is a break to the upside. And this is the good news. The good news is that eventually we're going to see the price test, and it's going to come back down here, test, and eventually it's going to hit resistance. Maybe it might get rejected a little bit, but eventually we're going to get some sort of break above resistance, not that high, like a little bit above. And then we'll see a return back to previously broken resistance. And then the move continues up higher. That's essentially what a bull flag looks like. And the reality is that sometimes bull flags can be horizontal in shape. Sometimes the price is going up like this and it just goes sideways and then it breaks up higher and our bull flag is sideways. But to be honest, when the bull flags are putting in lower lows and lower highs like this acts more like a spring. And this result is usually an extremely bullish breakout. So the angle of this bull flag does matter a lot, at least to me. And I want to share with you a previous bull flag that worked out really well. But you might not like this one because this one took a long time for it to actually finish. So what we have to do first is we want to identify the high and have the high here on March 14th. And we want to find the next high. There we go. Notice that we have several pierces right here, piercers and tests. There's a test. And then we also have lows right here. Great hardware store, am I right? And then we see lots of breaks to the downside. But eventually this is okay. I guess we could be really picky and say like, well, this is our low. But essentially it's the same thing. I think this is how I had it before. But the expected result is that we put in lower highs, lower lows. Lower highs, lower lows. Here we go. And then eventually there's some sort of a move above. This is our break above resistance. There's a bounce off of previously broken resistance, which acts as new support. And then we go higher. This is a bull flag. Unfortunately, this bull flag took about 218 days for it to break out. Now, again, there's no set fixed timeline where bull flags have to break out by a certain date. There's no such measurement or calculation like that. So it's a little bit like, I don't know. I'm not really expecting the price of Bitcoin to chop sideways, but the unfortunate truth about price action for BTC right now in time is that we are quickly approaching July 1st. It's literally just a week away until we hit July. And for all of you that have been trading crypto or even just trading equities for a while, you should know that the summer is usually the slowest point of the market. And if we highlight previous summers, and again, we're just going to go by June, July, August, okay? Here's June, July, August, roughly speaking, until September 1st. Back over here in 2024. Let's keep going back just to help you guys see what I'm talking about. Here's June, July, August, September 1st. Going back over here, June, and this is right in the middle of a bear market, June, July, August, September 1st. Here's June, July, August, September 1st. There you go. Something like that. Here's June, July, August. This is one of the most painful periods. I swear, it's so bad. Back over here in 2020, this is where people were giving up big time right before the main move. But zooming out, I want you to see that typically price action gets really boring during these summer months. June, July, August are typically really, really, really boring. We have fake outs. We have dumps. We have some pumps. We have a lot of faking out happening here. I'm not hoping, wishing, dreaming, or expecting this bull flag to last for another 2 months. But the reality is that the summer is one of the most boring times for markets. And boring means a lot of sideways price action and chop. Not saying it has to happen. But just keep this in mind. So the two things to consider right now are actually, well, the one that's short-term. The first short-term thing to consider is that we have this line right here, this dotted line. If the price of Bitcoin breaks above this today, it's going to be a really, really strong sign that the market should continue to pump. And again, we have this ceasefire that's starting literally right now. The expected behavior of overhead resistance is either to be tested or pierced. Anytime we pierce a level of resistance over and over and over, that is getting weakened and beaten down till eventually there will be a break like this. And eventually we'll see the price go above, bounce off of previously broken resistance, which will now treat it as support, and then we move on with our days and our gains. So this bull flag is looking plausible, but it's still too early. And again, summer, knowing that we have 2 months of potential sideways chop means that this bull flag could stay in place for quite a while. I know it's not the news that you wanted to hear, but the reality is that I'm sharing actionable insights and charts and setups that I think are worth paying attention to. And if we can look at price action and history for Bitcoin over the last 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 years, June, July, August are typically chop city at the beach. A lot of volatility. Actually, a lot of volatility leaves the markets. Volume leaves the markets. People go on vacation. So we'll see. But the reality is that all it takes for Bitcoin is to make one little move up higher, to pierce resistance a couple times, break it, push above, bounce off of it. There we go. We're just going to continue on our way up to my target of $173,000 by November. 173K. Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? You have any data to back that up? I do. It's in this video right here. So watch this one next. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.